YouTube. You think he playing about his money? You think he know where your mama live? He know where my mama live? The transition of power have never been easy. Ooh, let's talk about
She
it.
says she's been bitten from head to toe.
I don't know what been chewing on me, but I know I'm ate up on me. Watch how she up the score, her number 4, play 4, cause that bitch ain't. They say they still made that 9, but I'm a dime.
And that's a fact. The transition of power have never been easy. It can be dangerous. Listen, maybe that's my word of the day. I don't know. But I was thinking about that, looking out amongst the streets and in my everyday life. I'm watching. It's a transition. It's a changing of powers, changing of the God that's going on. And it's never been easy. It's a fight. Sometimes they even eliminate people when it's a changing of a source, right? So that's crazy that I thought about that this week. So I wanted to come and share it. Hello everybody. I'm Miss Tia. This is my channel. I am Miss Tia, where I talk celebrity news and views from a independent type of thinking. I tell people all the time, these are my opinions. It's not law. It's just how I view things. Being a girl from the South, some of my tradition and ideology that I bring to my channel is what I learned from my parents. Having a father who was very wealth and knowledge and wisdom. It's very few people you will run across who's equipped with wisdom. I do say my father was one of those ones who had that. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel. Thank you. I said I was trying to get to 400 subscribers. I think I got 1 or 2 subscribers left. So make sure you be a part of this thing that I'm trying to do over here on my channel. So once again, thank you. Listen, great topics today. I got 20 minutes. I always tell people too, I use topics, entertainment as a teachable moment. So I'm talking about some of my favorite artists today. One of my favorite artists, let me run it down. Okay, I'm talking about Big X the Plug, dropping his new country album. I'm talking about the Jim Jones and the Nas situation continually to go on. It's just it's crazy. My favorite genre in hip hop, battle rap, right? Murder Mook and Hitman Holla is finna get ready and do a battle. I think that's all I may get to. And plus, I may do some shenanigans in between. But I wanted to talk about one of my favorite artists at this time, especially from the South, right? Dallas. Big X the Plug. He dropped his awaited country album, which he was telling everybody from his first album, Take Care, that he was thinking about and he wanted to do a country album. So he dropped the country album called I Hope You're Happy. Listen, when I'm watching Plug, I see Plug is about to cross over. Plug, stay out of jail. Because recently he got arrested in his hometown of Dallas. But I see Plug crossing over. And I think he got a lot of help. I think Plug is an independent artist. I think he's with United Masters. Steve Stout, right? I think he's with a distribution type of thing. A lot of artists is going that way, and it may be good for them. So I think Plug is in a great position, and I think the industry see him and he's about to cross over. He is the Biggie Smalls of this time. And I'm not just talking about weight. I'm talking about his cadence and how his voice and the way he delivers is very attractive. And people like it. People like it. They're not even looking that he may not be attractive physically, but spiritually, and his cadence and his aura is very attractive. That's something too. But anyway, he dropped his country album. I liked it. I liked a couple of songs. I think I wrote in a couple of his comments. I like this one. I like this one. So go and check it out if you haven't checked it out. I think Big X the Plug is one of those ones that people were saying was next. And I see him crossing over. I was listening to an interview of one of his writers, or one of the people who's on his team who help him product and write these albums. He was talking about how this album is gonna is going to grant Big X awards. And everybody know when you talk awards, you talking about financial gain. You talking about visibility. You talking about even just going indoors that normally rappers not able to go in, and I think they're trying to equip Thug to, I mean, why I'm saying Thug, go stay over there. They tried to equip X to walk into those doors once again. Dallas looking like they are about to be that city from the South that's finna carry this leg in the rap game for right now. I think they got another up and coming artist I was watching, and I'm looking. I think his name is Zillionaire Doe or something like that. He remind me of a new young boy, a new what's my project baby boy down there in Miami. Kodak. He reminds me of the changing of power, the changing of the artist. Is listen to my words. Listen to my words. All of that is playing a factor. You could see the new players stepping up, and it's never been easy to transition. So, Big X the Plug is one of those artists I do believe who's about to cross over. Keep a look at Plug. What did I write? I wrote a couple of things. Let me see if I can grab something real quick. I only got a couple of minutes. He talked about country. Doing this country album. I wanted to say this about hip hop and rap. Hip hop and rap is no more to where it's just gonna be the base. I think a lot of people like me who is hip hop lovers, and we fighting for to keep it pure. I think that's over. It's no more of that. So I think we're gonna have to, you know how they used to say, beat them or join them, right? You can't beat them, join them. I think we're in that moment. Hip hop. I think we're in that moment. Hip hop have spun off to be so many. To be so many branches. You know, hip hop is the tree, and it got so many branches. It got so many branches. I think they did this a while ago when I was just thinking about this yesterday. Lauryn Hill, she built a branch of hip hop and R&B. She was used to do that. I was looking at Big X the Plug. He's used to be the branch into country, hip hop and country, right? So I was just thinking about that. Even you got your gospel rap, you got your hip hop to gospel. That's a branch. You know, hip hop is the root, right? It's the base, but it got different branches, which I think could be a great thing. You got your hip hop into pop. I don't know if you saw the Doja Cat new album she's about to drop. She just did a single. It was so much popish. And a lot of people are questioning her hip hop status. Is she hip hop? But I just wanted to say this: hip hop is finna branch off into so many things. It would no longer be just this base of hip hop rap. Just this base. It's gonna spin off into many things, and I don't think you could stop it. So at this point, you're just gonna have to join in with it. I know that's gonna hurt a lot of people who take this genre so personal. But when you got investors who come in, this is what this is what happens. These type of things happens. So I think the real is over. I think now we've been intruded infrared or intruded. I don't know. It's early. I'm making up shit over here. But Beyonce was one of the ones who kicked in country. You know, the country people was mad over there. But when you think about it, does that make sense? Should music be a kind of a flat lane level for everybody to be able to enjoy? Should rappers be able to roam in country? Should R&B artists be able to roam in rock? Should music just be one playing field? That's the question. A lot of people are not happy with it, but I think that's the way it's going. So you're going to get artists doing different things, going into many places, experimenting. And to be honest with you, if you are an up-and-coming artist, be prepared to do just that. The tide is changing. The power is turning. It's turning. Big X the Plug, what I wrote. I heard one of his artists, one of the writers, I think Big X the Plug revealed some of his big hits. He talked about how he was not the writer. His team, people on his team was the writer, which a lot of people clutched their pearls. But to me, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised because Big X also talked about he just started rapping. See, X is not one of those rappers who started listening and feeling these vibrations since he was 3, like a lot of us. Like he said, I just started this. So, of course, a team that would be a no brainer, right? So he talked about how some of his team wrote a lot of his big hits, and a lot of people's not happy about it. But we're in this time, you guys. This is about money and power, honey. And however they find a way to control this thing, they're doing it. So it's going to be natural now. It's going to be natural that people have a team of people to either write or help display what we call an artist. I think the Drake people, they made that, they kicked that door down, and many more artists even before them. We can't think about it because a lot of those secrets wasn't revealed, but a lot of people have been the first to do this, and it became a blueprint. So even though you feel like oh, they shouldn't write, that's no more. I think that's going to be disappointing to a lot of people who just love this craft, but it's changing. It's no longer the authentic thing that it used to be, and you better get used to it. You may better find you a team to run this course. Once again, it's showing you how the changing of the merch, how at one time Travis Scott was deemed wrong for doing the merch with his music because it gave him a boost above the others. But now everybody is using merch and little trinkets and things to help them to grow this empire. Listen, this is an empire now. This is a real thing. Like so you better get on it. You better find your team and you better start building. You better get behind somebody who you think got it, who you see got it, who you feel got it. Build a team around them so everybody can eat. This is where it's going. And to the ones who still crying about the purity of it, it's no longer. It's no longer. So I wanted to talk about that because that's what I'm seeing. They asked X in a interview, how did he come to wanting to do this hip hop country type of genre? How did he? Because to be honest with you, to me, even though he credited Nelly for seeing that first, he said, they asked him, they said, where you seen this? He said, I seen it through Nelly. X is not old enough to even know about Nelly. I think X was born in 98. So, somebody had to kind of put that in his head about which way they wanted to go with him. So he credited Nelly for that. But X is really going to be the forefront of this movement, this rap to country. Even though he credited Nelly, but I think X will be the one who take the credit for that intro into rap to country. So, but I like that he did credit Nelly. I don't even think he was born when Nelly was out. Was Nelly out in 98? Probably. But see, he was a baby. He was born in 98. X was. But once again, these people got teams helping them build empires so everyone can eat. This is the way the industry, rap game, music is going, period. The old structure is no more. I know that's going to be hard for a lot of people, but the old structure is no more. This is the new thing now, and you're going to either be beat or join. So swallow your pride. If you want to be a part of the moment now, you got to figure out how you gonna get your team and build from that. And I think it's gonna be in everything. It's gonna be in sports. It's gonna be in all kind of entertainment through the entertainment leg. You see Jay-Z, he got his hands in everything. He's a sport agent. He's over the he's in the rap. He's over the entertainment, Super Bowl. But so it shows you how he's able to do everything. Speaking of Jay-Z, Rihanna, Oprah, all of them, they dropped down the black billionaires. Crazy. And I think they just showed the top 10. You had Rihanna, Oprah, Tyler, Jay-Z, and a lot of people from different countries. I think I saw a Nigerian guy. So, you got the resources, but I think people want to see a plan in order for them to help you along with your what you're trying to do, right? So, once again, the old way is no more. So you can gripe and cry about it all day. That's no more. Get you a team, find you a person, and build. That's the new hip hop. That's the new music now. That's just what it is. It's what it is. All right, let's move on to something else. All right, let me get into my next topic. Once again, the transferring of power. It's crazy. I saw this in the news. This is old, but this is new for me to talk about. The Jim Jones, Fario versus Nas. The transferring of power. When have it ever been where I come from? When have it ever been or the thing to disrespect your elders or the icons, the people that came before you, from our community? I grew up in a time where you respected these people even in their wrong, and you hope that they come back to say, oh, I was wrong, but this is what I meant. But we never grew up in a time where we disrespect those that came before us. But once again, it's a transferring of power. And a lot of that thing that we once growed up on is no longer. Crazy, right? It's going to be kind of hard for a lot of us to transition in those areas, because the way we grew up, you know, you didn't tell, you didn't you didn't talk back to people who was older. It was different. But recently, from the hip hop community, I saw an interview, Jim Jones interviewing Fario Foreign, which is a young buck that's coming up in the music industry. But I was first of all, what's going on that all the hip hop artists want to do a podcast, and what information are they spreading to help the masses? But I realized, the only help that a lot of these people who in these positions is doing is just amongst each other. I'm watching Gillian Wallow trade money with each other every month. I'm like, well, how many times he gonna give him $50,000? Crazy, right? You can't tell people what to do with their money, but it's kind of weird when you're watching people only share the wealth with themselves. And wealth don't have to always be money. It could be knowledge. And I don't see a lot of these people sharing a lot of this knowledge on these platforms that they're building. But anyway, Jim Jones is one of those people. Now, I like Jim Jones. I thought his recent album that he dropped was very good. And it surprised me that he's constantly knocking on this door of disrespect because of his ego and his emotions. That's another thing I notice about the men. A lot of the men in this time, they're very emotional. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if that's a single mama thing or what. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I think a lot of it is disrespectful. It's crazy. But he had Fario Foreign on his podcast. I think that's what it is. And once again, he found himself allowing the new generation to disrespect. At one point, I think Jim Jones could have earned somewhat of a credit that he could have gained in this moment if he would have said, nah, we're not going to disrespect them. You can say it in a way like, I don't really know him because I'm younger, and not disrespect. I just think he really allowed him to disrespect. I turned it off after I heard Fario Foreign saying his inspiration was Chief Keef. At that point, I knew then I was in the wrong room. I immediately turned away. So all you have to do is listen to people for a minute. You can kind of tell who they are. So when he said that, I was like, see, we're playing. Y'all play too much. And I think the wrong power is in the wrong people's hands. So that's the thing, too. Remind me of The Ring. What was that movie? It was The Ring, right? Was it The Ring? No, The Ring was the other one. But with the hobbits and the wrong people get the ring, it turned them. We're in the season where the wrong people got a hold to the ring. The wrong people got a hold to the ring. And by any means necessary, somebody need to get it and destroy it. Because the wrong people are holding power at this time, and it's causing a disruption amongst the people. Let's move on. I didn't like it. I didn't like that Jim Jones couldn't handle that in a professional way, which to me put him more in a bad position as being a artist in this industry. Like, who would look up to him at this point? Let's move on. It's crazy. I didn't like it. I thought it was crazy. So no, I would not be watching it. I just would not. I was looking at an interview this week. Pastor Troy and a down south legend, Willie D, 1/3 of the Ghetto Boys. Did you guys see this? This is crazy. I grew up this time. Pastor Troy was everything when I was coming up. I think high school. If I wasn't in high school, I just got out, something like that. But I remember Pastor Troy at this time was this bold, boisterous, loud, tall, big voice out of Atlanta, knocking on Master P door, saying, P, let us in, we ready. But anyway, he revealed on an interview with Willie D, going to the Willie D show, he talked about how Willie D said, well, how did you get into it with Master P? How did you get to this place? He said, he never had a problem with Master P. He said Master P just was the man on top. And everybody know at this time Master P was everything, especially in the South. But Master P was everything from the West Coast all the way down, right? But Pastor Troy talked about how he never met him. He didn't even know what the reason was. He just knew that Master P was the man on top at that time. And to get any kind of recognition or look, he had to be disrespectful. At that time, I don't think he was kind of noticing it, but it was very disrespectful. I think Willie D asked him, like, have you talked to P? Would you like to talk to P? And I think he said something like, yeah, he would love to talk to P or whatever. But he talked about how P stopped his show. He was going to do a birthday bash or something in Atlanta, and the people wanted Pastor Troy. But P, pulled his strings and got Pastor Troy off this show because he didn't want to be, P didn't want to be disrespected in this city. But anyway, I think he talked about how the Dungeon family, people from the Dungeon family, somebody said, no, you're going to be on this show. And said the reason why he take around the belt, because a lot of people always ask him, why do you walk around with a wrestling belt? So he said, hearing the crowd just cheering, wanting to see Pastor Troy this time, because Pastor Troy was the moment. We ready, right? So he said the people was overpowering P, booing his set. Pastor Troy came out and the people went wild. He said at that moment, he walked around with the championship belt, the wrestling belt, as being the champion of that time. Man, could that be considered disrespect? Maybe. But I think P handled it. He handled it good, and I think it gave Pastor Troy a moment. One of my favorite songs from Pastor Troy discography is I'm About to Move to Mars, right? I'm about to move to Mars, y'all. The world's Pastor Troy has some great songs, especially young, growing up. When we was growing up, we was really at war and ready. He also talked about losing his father. He got emotional. Go and watch the interview. He got really emotional about losing his father, what his father meant to him, how growing up in a home of an army veteran that gave him this structure of this kind of army fatigue, this kind of top shelf, acquiesce type of thing. Go and check that interview out. I loved it. To see Pastor Troy, I think a lot of people do not get to sit down with these artists because they really made a big statement at this time. He also talked about how I'm leaving the streaming world because it wasn't no money. Once again, another artist complaining about the streaming world is meaning no money for the artist. He said he left it. He also said now he got his own website where he distribute his music. So if you want to hear some of Pastor Troy music, go over to his website. He said it's all up to $10.99 and even less. But now I think some of the artists is taking it back to the trunk. If you ain't at the status of the big artist now, you taking it back to the trunk and you able to survive. Because once again, Scarface, I was saying last week's show, I don't know if you guys saw last week's show, go over and listen to it. Scarface was talking about how he hate the new way of putting music on your platform. So he talked about how now it's back to the trunk, and back to the trunk is getting your own website, putting your music up and getting your money that way, which is, to me, it's brilliant. People of color, we always figure out a way to cheat the matrix, honey. And once they see us do that, they'll figure out a way to shut that down. But in the meantime, go and support your local independent artists. And man, those are tools that you can use for these artists to be able to eat off their craft, because your craft and your talent's supposed to take care of you. And you don't want people who's not doing the music to take everything. So sometimes you may need to build your own website, and you may even need to go back to the trunk if people really want your work that bad, which we in some different times. Let me move on. I don't have long. Murder Mook and Hitman Holla. Listen, I'm a battle rap. I ain't like Drake. I study battle rap for a living and get my ass whooped. But I love battle rap too. I think my favorite girl from battle rap, I always tell people this, Shuni the Rapper, and I like Black Diamond. Those were my top girls when I used to watch battle raps. Men from battle rap who I love, everybody, we love Lux, and I used to love T-Rex. T-Rex was my number one. But anyway, Murder Mook, Hitman Holla is about to do a battle, which is crazy. Everybody's going crazy for it. I think I'm going to try to get me a pay-per-view view about it so I can see it as well. But I was looking at the face-off. Interesting. Is Murder Mook too emotional to win? Will Hitman Holler hit below the belt and try to dismantle the king, Murder Mook? Is this the time where the power will be transferred and Murder Mook will fall? You got to think about it. Murder Mook been that one through it all. He done beat everybody, even Loaded Lux, right? So would this be the time that Murder Mook will fall? With the transition of power and you seeing some of the people that you thought would be the king forever is being dismantled. Will this be Murder Mook time of being dismantled? Something to think about. Hitman Holla have always been like an undercard, right? He always been like the one you better watch, especially when he bring that little brother out, right? When he bring that little brother out, they go crazy. And could Murder Mook sustain? I watched him, and to me, he looked disturbed. So will his component take advantage of his struggles right now? You can see it on his face. Murder Mook, if you hear me, you know, God said when you're fasting, don't look like it. He said, don't look like what you're going through. And you can see it over your face. Brother, drop to your knees. Forgive yourself. You're good. You still here. You're alive. But it bothers me. I'm scared for Mook. Now my money is on Mook. But I'm really scared. I think Hitman Holler will go just that far. We're in that season. You want to take your enemy out, you got to crush them from the bone marrow. And I think Hitman Holler, he's not scared to do just that. He may even bring up his mother and his financial problems, which is very emotional for people at this time. Hold it, Mook. I'm excited about the battle. I want to see it. I think I'm going to see it. Maybe I need to order the pay-per-view and then come back and review it. I don't know. I want to say that yet. But anyway, thank you for joining me this morning. This is my Saturday morning rant, and I am Miss Tia. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.